Hey everyone, welcome to the Tub Pond Handbook, available on Amazon.com. Want to show you today the Congo Tetra stock tank tub, which is in bloom here this spring with Aquatic Iris and water lilies, and the Congo Tetras are inside, hopefully doing their thing. This is finally a warm day here in Zone 6. So let's just go through this. This is a 110-gallon Rubbermaid agricultural stock tank tub. If you go to the Tub Pond Handbook, if you purchase the book, there's a chart in there which tells you what plastics are safe for your fish and what are not. And with terms with safe plastics, the issue is really more for young fish and fry. They're the ones, in my experience, get really impacted if you're not using a food grade or safe plastic. These agricultural stock tanks available at Tractor Supply are food safe. So they're pretty good, they're pretty sturdy. As you see, they have a drain at the bottom. This is the 110-gallon model, fairly standard, good for a large water lily. What I do with all my tubs is my plants are the primary filtration, in this case the iris and the water hyacinth. The water lilies are another hobby I have, but they also help to keep out evaporation and help to stabilize the temps a bit, but also they help keep your fish from getting sunburned. And fish will do that. And when it's warm out or it's the midday sun where it's hot, they will retreat into the shade of a tub. If you ever observe fish in nature, some of them do that as well. So let's take a look at a few of these plants. This is a Japanese rabbit ear water iris, okay, called, let me get the proper name here. Oh yes, Akebono. This is Iris ensata or ensata. These are what the irises were when the iris craze hit in the early 20th century in people's gardens. They would plant irises like this. We don't really do that much anymore because they're very water dependent, as you can imagine. But look at that beautiful flower, this big floppy flower. This was just, I fertilized this in the spring with a water lily tab, followed up with a Pond Tabs Junior tab. There's a video on that, and they bloom for me. I plant them in pea gravel. I'll show you the large pot here. This is a perforated pond basket with pea gravel. In the center, I will put a golf ball size piece of clay. Either clay soil is best if you have kitty litter that does not have any additives, or safety zorb, which is calcite clay, which is what many of the water lily breeders use. Safety zorb from Tractor Supply is an issue. If that's well rinsed, as well as the kitty litter, you can use that, but really clay soil is the easiest to work with. Aquascapes, which is the main pond company, sells water lily and lotus soil. It's in a large bag. It's cheap. If you're just going to do one tub, that's what I would use. Or just dig in your garden. Go down about 12 inches, you will probably hit the clay layer, and you can use that. But that's only a pocket inside of here. And then after these flowers are done, I will not fertilize this plant. I want it to filter the water, outcompete the algae, keep it clean for my Congo Tetras that are in there. But that's a really lovely plant. The other iris that's blooming is this unique copper one. This is a Sudata Hybrid. So what they did was they took those invasive yellow flag irises that our European ancestors brought over, which are one of the best filters you can have in your tub. But their flowers are meh, and they don't have many flushes of them. They crossbred them with the iris ensatas, and they got a whole range of these Sudata hybrids. These plants are robust and filter well and look great like the Iris pseudochorus, but they flower more regularly, more flowers, bigger flowers, except for this one, like the Japanese water iris. And even better, they're sterile. Because they were bred to be sterile, they're not going to be as invasive. And again, another filter planted the same way. Really lovely. You can see I got multiple flushes. Here's a second flush coming up. You don't get that with yellow flag iris. And that's a very unique iris. A whole bunch of little buds coming up here, you can see. And that's what I love about these Sudata hybrids. You get multiple flushes over a longer period of time in the spring, so you can enjoy your flowers more. And then they'll serve as a primary filter. The water lily we have is an all-time favorite. It's always on the top 10 list, and I would recommend if you have a large tub or stock tank or a pond, you get this one. Colorado. This was a salmon peach colored water lily developed by a Texan called Kirk Strawn. And Kirk Strawn developed these by crossing the standard hardy water lilies with Nymphaea mexicana, and created water lilies that act like tropicals. This is in its last day. It's going to fall into the water, but it was standing up high like this yesterday. It also smells nice, which is a great reason to keep your tubs rather than ponds, because you can get right up close and smell that. On the first day, you can put your finger right in there, and that is sweet nectar that you can taste. So really a wonderful plant. I love the color. It blooms well in shady conditions. So there's a lot of benefit to using Colorado, and it's a very reliable hardy. Now you'll notice with this tub, floating water hyacinth is around the corners. Those are just there because the water lilies have not expanded out. I just pruned this tub of them. I put them in the spots around the sides, both as a filter. It's going to flower starting probably later this month or next month. And it's a great spawning mop for fishes, as you can see. And the babies will pick at that. But it can be invasive. I only put it in the sections around the tub where there's an opening so the fish won't jump. They generally don't jump, but I want to keep them safe. I don't want to crowd out the water lily. The water lily needs to spread out as much as it can to get the energy to create the flowers. Plus you fertilizing it at least once a month with special fertilizer tabs. So I prune that. A lot of fish people, when they do their tubs, they don't prune their floating plants. What that can create is a dead zone. If this gets covered completely with floating plants, the problem with water hyacinth is that what it will do then is it will shade out the entire tub, and you'll get a dead zone underneath your tub. And then the whole ecosystem collapses. The microplankton, the microalgae, the microorganisms, they all start to die, and your fish don't do well. So a lot of times when people over the past 20 years have sent me an email, hey Ted, I think a frog got all my fish. I say, show me a picture of your tubs. And I see a tub covered completely with water hyacinth or water lettuce or salvinia. No, you've got to keep open areas for light to penetrate so the phototrophic bacteria and all the life cycle underneath continues. You'll notice with water lilies how they've evolved. The pad has a sinus. You see that sinus right there? So you'll always have light penetrating. That's by nature. Water lilies that have dead spaces underneath them are not going to survive. So that's evolution in action for that symbiotic relationship. So I want this to spread. Once it spreads, I'll start to remove more water hyacinths, unless I am trying to breed this fish, which I'm trying to do. I will either move this water hyacinth to another tub or a tank where there will be eggs on it, or I will use this. Let me see if I reach down here and get this. This is a little breeding box I created. It is just a pond planter with pea gravel and a piece of egg crate zip tied over the top. I will move that whole box into a separate tub and try to catch some spawn. Third way is just let the fish do their own thing. I have not had luck with Congo Tetras having a colony outside of fry, so that's why I'm moving to this method. But other fish like Columbia Tetras, Pristillas, they'll breed readily in a tub. You won't have to do anything. You'll have babies at the end of the year. So I wanted to show you this tub, and we'll be hopefully showing some more during the season. If you'd like to learn more about these plants, please consider purchasing the Tub Pond Handbook on Amazon.com. We're in the 3rd edition. I will be speaking at the Keystone Clash in September. And give a like and subscribe to the channel. So thanks so much, everyone, and happy tubbing. And even if you're not tubbing, have fun with your fish and your plants. Have a great day, and thanks for tuning in.